And of course, this was the master bedroom.
You see those in the movie, the pictures for water. Well, I guess you had to. No running water, have a pitcher.
Little pot. Oh my. That would be just so hard. Of course, that was their pantry. And of course, they had the telephone, the party line. They could have up to maybe 8 families on the same phone line, and you'd have to listen to see how many rings it would be, so you'd know whether it was you were being called or somebody else. And just lift it up, and then you'd have to talk into it. It's hard to get kids to understand that you had to stand in one place. You couldn't walk around with it. Of course, this is the cook stove, and it would have had the reservoir hooked on here. That's where they would have heated the water. And then they would could use this heating stone, get it real hot. In the wintertime, they would run it between the sheets in the bed to warm the bed up somewhat. And of course, the flat irons, which those things are so heavy.
So it was run on coal, or?
Yeah, either coal or wood. They could.
That's another thing they had to bring upstairs.
Yes. Put and cobs to start it as well. We have a rolling pin from the Pitney store, and then the dry sink. And of course, this is the ice box. And so they had to bring the ice up as well, the blocks of ice, and then it would drain in it through that hole down into a pan underneath there. That was one of the kids' chores, to make sure that pan got emptied. And then this is where they would keep the things cool. They got the ice out of the canal in the wintertime, and we had an ice house here in town. They used sawdust to keep the ice through the summer. It seemed to have worked. And they did have their porch. It was screened in. And they had a kerosene stove out here so that they didn't have to heat up the whole house with a cook stove. This building was built 1895 by Mr. Seymour, and then he built the building next door and put his grocery store in downstairs. But he left the same wall, and he left the windows in the 2 apartments. So lots of times Mrs. Seymour and Mrs. Reagan, if they needed to run an errand or something, didn't want to haul the kids up and down the steps with them. They would just knock on the window and pass their children back and forth. So I'm not sure what the owner intends to do with that apartment. I would love to see it fixed up as well, so people can hop back and forth through the windows. It needs a lot of work. Anyway, it was quite neat. This lady is the lady who grew up next door, and she moved out to California. So she's got a picture of him, and she also has verified that he really was born here.
That's what you're used to.
Yes.
You don't know any difference.
But with all of the conveniences that we have, I'm sure she probably had more time than we do during the day. It just seemed like there's always a lot going on. The 3rd bedroom was right off here. When it was modernized and rented for many years, that was made into a bathroom. And then when they redid this, they didn't bother doing anything with that room. They thought they had 2 bedrooms, so they didn't need to fix the 3rd one up. I like to tell everybody, or ask everyone to try to figure out what this might be.
Cherry pudding?
You good! You get an A+ today. Yeah. Well, a lot of people have never heard about even picking cherries, let alone that you had to take the pits out of them or anything. So it's
California.
There you go. There you go.
In here and ask about critters.
Well,
inappropriate, you know, in this
No.
school.
Yeah, they didn't take them in years ago. They did for a while here, but then I don't know what, before I started helping them, so I'm not sure what happened. But, okay, 8, 9, 10, and 10 is 20. Thank you very much. And she said that you went to school down here?
Originally I'm from Alton, Illinois.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you decided to stop by.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And thank you for letting us, taking us to tour and videotaping
All
us.
right.
It was quite a very learning experience, actually.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to do it.
It really explains things you can
Right.
understand.
Well, most people know about Ronald Reagan's California connection, and they know very little about the
His early
Illinois.
days.
Yeah,
Right.
and which is really the formative years, actually.
Yes, yes, it was. And we feel that, you know, Dixon, he called that his hometown. And you know, from the time he was 11 years old or so, that's where he formed his lifetime friends and everything.
Well, also the ethics of growing up in a small town.
Yeah, it's the Midwestern ethic, you know, the famous Midwestern.
Yes, right, right, there you go, there you go.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Glad that you stopped in and you
Thank
have
you.
a safe trip now.
Well,
Next time.
we'll try to publicize this a little bit more so you get some more customers come through here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you again, and take care.
Thank you.
It's much more extensive than I imagined. Luckily you come in, you're looking around.
Well, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Well,
I understand what he was like, you know, from his childhood.
so, what do you think?
I thought it was interesting. Learning about how he grew up and just being a little boy throwing rocks at the train and standing on the cannon is typical every time he took a picture. That must be the cannon over there.
Oh, well.
All right.
That was a visit to Tampico, Illinois, specifically the Ronald Reagan Museum, as well as the birthplace of Ronald Reagan, our 40th president. We hope you enjoyed this little excursion. Most people know about the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, but very few people know about his Illinois roots, particularly this little small part of Tampico, Illinois. And I'd like to thank particularly the volunteer, Joan Johnson, for letting us videotape her tour. She was most gracious and most welcome. And we're going to have some information at the end of this so that you can contact the Ronald Reagan Museum, give them a call. Better yet, go there. They would love to see you, and you'll find warm and welcoming people like Joan Johnson there. Thank you for coming with us. If you have any other information, there's another number you can call me. Give me a call. Thank you, and goodbye.